So, good evening, everybody. This evening, I've got my friend Paul Metcalfe, who's the secretary to the first team for Astley and Buckshaw United, and we're just going to have a little bit of an interview with him prior to a couple of days to the start of the season. And it's just basically just to kind of get an idea of his thoughts of the upcoming season. So, good evening, Paul. How are you?
Too bad, Dave. Thank you very much.
Very good, very good. Good to see you today. So, thinking about the season and everything we've done in the last couple of years, I suppose like going into the Prem, it's quite a intriguing season. What are your thoughts of the what's coming up in the next couple of days?
I think seriously we're far further along the line than we ever thought we would be at this stage of the club's history. Obviously we're moving into season 4 now. We've had 2 promotions and moving into West Lancs Prem, so that's unknown territory for a lot of us. I don't think we're under any illusion that it's going to be a difficult season, this one. We've obviously been promoted in first place a couple of years ago, runners up last year. I think it's a completely different type of league this season. We've had a lot of physical teams out there, a lot of very established teams out there, so we've got to go out there and establish ourselves and make ourselves known and try and do as well as we can do this season. I don't think anybody's thinking about promotion at this stage. Just get in there and do whatever we can do.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I mean, like, I know when we got promoted last season, and I've mentioned this before and I'll mention it again, I didn't honestly think we'd do what we did, and a lot of people just kept saying we're not here just to make the numbers up, we're here just to establish ourselves. And obviously we had this one hell of a run last season, and
absolutely.
So moving on from that, what do you personally think is one of the biggest challenges of this season you can see coming?
I think it's establishing ourselves in the Prem. It's going to be a difficult job, I think. It's going to be a long season against some very good sides, and just try and do as well as we can do. Nobody wants to think about the big R word, relegation. We don't want to be doing that. But then, I think it's going to be a tough job to get towards, the mid-table, top of the table, whatever. Just get ourselves and do whatever we can do. We've got the core of the side that we've had all the way through, really. They're still with us. We've got some new players, some not exciting players who are going to take us as far as we can do, I think. Just go out there and enjoy ourselves, really.
Yeah, I agree with you that. Like I say, I'm looking forward to the challenge of like going to different places and playing new teams and seeing new grounds and stuff and meeting new people. It's one of the things I've enjoyed last season. There's so many good setups out there at non-league football, and non-league football is massive, isn't it?
That's huge. I mean, I've been in non-league for getting on for 30 years now. Started off as a steward at Chorley Football Club and got myself up to youth secretary. Went to Bamber Bridge, and now I'm here, and it's just a completely different feel to this club. Right here at the start of the club's history, if you like, rather than being at the next stage of the club's history, and it's just an exciting venture to be on. And like you say, when you say we're like into our 4th season, it's gone so fast, and obviously there's developments going on around the ground. There's the new dugouts and stuff, and obviously if you want to say a few words about other developments. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've got a very decent setup here. I think people open their eyes when they come and have a look at Astley and Buckshaw's ground, Brookfields. Got a decent pitch, obviously. Dugouts were a bit of a moan for the last 3 seasons, just breeze block and a makeshift plastic roof over us. We've got this lovely setup here. Used to be Man City's training dugouts from their old training ground, so that's good to have. We've got grants in place. We've got perimeter fence going around the pitch at some point this season. We had our old lock-up, which is going to become a kitchen. We applied for a grant to get a kitchen in there, so we'll be able to start catering better for people coming down to the ground. As well as that, we've got some seats going in You've got to think about the future. You know, we're not probably dreaming in truth about the Northwest counties yet. The ambition probably is going to go up there at some point, but you've got to have seats in place. So the seats are coming in this season at some point, so that's going to be great. You know, moving further on, obviously floodlights, that's a huge expense, but you've got to get up there. So we're making the ground look good, feel good, and make it a nice place for our own players and indeed anybody coming to the ground to watch us play.
Yeah, I mean, you touched on a word there about, you know, money. You know, obviously at this level we don't take gate receipts, so we are dependent on sponsorships and subscriptions and funding. Obviously we had some funding towards the kitchen and stuff, and it's hard to run a club on what we do, but we have done it so far.
Absolutely. You know, it's all about volunteers. You know, we're not a football league side. With teams, companies backing the clubs. We are a small band of volunteers, constantly trying to grow our group of volunteers. You know, it's a very satisfying thing to do, to run a football club. It's not without its difficulties, not without its frustrations, but you know, hopefully this season and beyond, we'll start to reap the rewards of the efforts put in, and as I say, make this ground look very, very decent. We're getting courtesy of the trust, we're getting a 3G training pitch put in, 9-a-side pitch put in at some point in the near future, hopefully, and that can be used for our younger teams to play in, obviously play their games. So bit we're growing. We'll get a name on the map a little bit. It'd be nice if we could move into the villages of Astley and Buckshaw who surround us. We've got a lot of people who live there. It'd be nice if we could tap into the local people and just say we're here. If you enjoy football, you can get some fresh air on a Saturday or a Sunday, and then come down and support your local side, because we're a growing side and want to make our faces known around here.
Yeah, like I say, another thing you touched on, like the local community. Obviously our fan base has grown in the last 2 or 3 years. It's grown on social media. We've had more and more people coming down to the ground on a Saturday. We've held a couple of semi-finals here on a Sunday with the Lancashire Sunday League. So you know, momentum is growing and people are getting to know us. I mean, like I say, you know, if we can just get a few more people down this season, you know, then obviously the bigger the fan base, you know, the more support you get. And
absolutely, you know it's a great level of football to be at, great level of football to watch, because it is competitive, it is good football, and you know, people can come down and see that. You know, put money behind the bar. You know, we've got the kitchen going, and as I say, you know, we've got football cards going around at games now. You know, every little bit of money helps. You know, it all goes into the coffers and out the other end, and you know, we can grow the club even further.
Yeah, and like I say, I suppose another expenditure this season is the odd game or two when we've got a referee and 2 linesmen as well.
Absolutely, that's one of the things about going up into the Prem now. You know, we've previously had one volunteer from each club do the line. Now we've got to have linesmen, which is supplied by the West Lancs League. So, you know, it's all expense, but you know, it shows the level of football that we're at now. It's a great place to be.
Yeah, well, like I say, another thing you touched on is that the level of football as well. You know, when you've got more officials, it feels like a more important game, because obviously, you know, you'll have expertise on the sidelines, you know, making them decisions and stuff. They're all good talking points after the game and stuff. Was it offside? Was it a penalty? You know, it's all part of the banter as well. Which, like I say, at the end of the day, it's this is why I love doing what I do. So, kind of just moving on a little bit from that. So, what keeps you personally motivated to do what you do at this kind of level of football?
Well, I just love football. First and foremost, I love the sport. I love being part of a group of people that supports this club, supports the teams. You know, it gets me out of the house. It's nice because, you know, I care for my wife, she's disabled. It's just my bit of time away from the caring role to do something different. You know, it's hard work, but I enjoy it, and you know, and I know that I'm appreciated, and I appreciate everybody that works here. You know, you've done a great role, Dave. You know, you're infamous now around non-league as cameraman Dave, CMD. You know, it's just nice to have that family feel here as well as my own home, my family home.
Yeah, no, I agree with you again there. It's I love doing what I do. You know, it's, you know, I've grown with this club since the start of it, and like I say, I wouldn't change it for the world. It's like Saturdays, the old Sundays as well. You know, filming and taking photos and stuff. It's
well, you started, didn't you, just filming your lad?
Well,
playing for the team, and
that's true.
And it's grown into a huge role for you. And you know, it's, under those certain terms, it's you that's grown the social media side of the club, and it's got us quite well known out there. We've got a lot of hits on social media, and long may that continue, get a name known.
Yeah. It's funny, one person asked me the other week, he said, why do you do it? And I just said basically one word: memories.
Yes.
You know, we're not back in the 80s where they had the great big camcorders and you had a VH tape, you know, recording stuff. You know, it's like we're doing this video, it's just done on an Apple iPhone, and it'll be uploaded to YouTube later on. It's that simple, yeah, you know, and I wish more and more people did it, because I think it's, you know, for players and managers to look back on stuff like this, I think it's a fantastic thing. You know, for a couple of quid you can record your game and have a tripod, and you know, it's away you go. But it's
let's face it, you know, I love it. I've been at big clubs in the football world. I've been at Chorley, been at Bamber Bridge. I came down here one night just to have a look at the place, and I was immediately sold. They were looking for a secretary, and I sold at the Dream, and that's, you know, 4 seasons ago. And I was told what the plans were then, and we've gone far past some of them plans. You know, some of the plans are still in the making. You know, a lot of money has to be spent to do things, but you know, we're as a club, we've grown. I mean, we've got under 9s now, under 9s all the way up to the first team. Danny, the manager of the first team, has been asking for a couple of seasons now for a reserve side. He said, you know, at this level we need a reserve side, just to give first team some extra game time if they're coming back from injury. But sure enough, we've brought a reserve side in. It's an existing under 18 side. They've come in. They're doing very well, thank you very much. And they kick off on Saturday as well as part of the West Lancs reserve team, reserve Division 2. So we've got eventual have alternate Saturdays. And I think this season, rather than travelling with the first team every week, I'll be spending my Saturdays down here. So we'll be with the first team one week and then with the reserve team the next week. So establish myself as secretary of Brookfields, if you like. I've
watched a couple of the pre-season games for the reserves, and I've been very impressed.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously I've interviewed Phil and Jamal before. Nice set of guys, and I think they've got a good setup. I think they've got the right balance, and I think this season, you know, just don't know, they might just surprise one or two, but there's some great teams in that Division 2.
Yeah,
you know, Port United. I think that's one of the games. I think that's the game they kick off.
It's the first home game. For the team. They've got, I think, 3 away games to start off with, because we've got 3 home games. Their first home game is against Port United, obviously big rivals of ours over the years.
Yeah.
You know, we've played them in the league and played them in pre-season. So, you know, we've got a few friends there as well. It's going to be an exciting first game here at Brookfields for the first team.
It certainly is.
For the third team, should I say?
Yes, certainly is. Right, well, thank you very much for your time as always. So that's the interview ended. It's cameraman Dave. We're going to be signing off. So this video is going to go out in a couple of days' time, just prior to kick-off of the new season. So keep watching our social media channels, and best of luck to every team going in the non-league who kicks off this weekend. Okay, thank you.
Cheers, Dave.